BP.
OK, we're going to get a rundown of what else is happening. Charlotte's across that. What have you got?
Thanks, Eamon. Well, there's news about a mother jailed for killing her brain-damaged son with heroin. She's going to appeal against her conviction today. Frances Inglis was given a life sentence in January for giving her 22-year-old son Thomas a fatal dose of heroin. And today's appeal is just the latest to highlight the issue of mercy killings, as Rhiannon Mills reports.
With the other inmates.
And a team of British astronomers has found what's thought to be the largest set of stars to date. One of them is more than 300 times the size of the Sun. They're said to be millions of times more luminous than the Sun, and they're also 7 times hotter. Take a look at that. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, but where is it?
Oh, it's
somewhere
way
out
up there.
It's 300 times bigger. Here, talking about stars, Lindsay Lohan and that prison picture of hers.
Yeah.
I mean, would you smile at the camera like that if you were ready to be incarcerated?
She does look like she's doing one of her sort of
Publicity
model
shots.
pouts, doesn't she?
I tell you what, by the time she gets out, she'll have a big problem with her roots, won't she?
She will do.
Well,
no, because she's only in there for 2 weeks, isn't she?
Think of all that glamour that she'll need tending to. Thank you, Charlotte. Let's have a look at the front pages of the newspapers.
Not like
The Guardian.
to live like that. Andrew James in Newport has got in touch about David Cameron's visit to Washington. He says, first we had Tony the Poodle, now we have David the Wimp. Why has David Cameron changed his schedule and pandered to 4 American senators? Would Obama change his schedule to accommodate 4 British MPs so they could ask him a question? No, he wouldn't.
But we're the junior partner in all of this, so he's quite right. He wouldn't change his schedule.
No, he is right on that one, I think. And talking about Gary McKinnon's extradition, Rob Hancock says he's a parent to a child with Asperger's syndrome, and he says you have to remember Gary McKinnon has a disability. This would destroy him, so it should be dealt with at home and not the US. Gary has to live his life in one big routine. And Katie Holcomb says, so should it be the case that any Brit is accused of a crime anywhere in the world by any regime should be shipped off to the accusing country for trial? So a selection there.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of people who would say yes, they should be, but it depends, of course, if the extradition agreement is in place. Sports-wise, Jackie, you've got a bit of transfer news and a bit of cycling and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, we're going to have the best of the action from yesterday's stage on the Tour de France, which was the toughest so far, 4 really tough climbs there. Plus,
the entertainment presenter for Capital Radio. Good to see you, Kevin.
Good to see you, Eamon.
How prestigious is this?
This is the award that artists want to win. It's got credibility still. This is the award that, well, the record label bosses want their artists to win as well, because this is all about propelling album sales at a time when the industry goes a little bit quiet. August sales go down a little bit. So, yeah, it's been going, what, 16, 17 years now, and artists still want to win this prestigious prize. So 12 on the shortlist as ever, announced yesterday. I went along to the launch. Dizzy Rascals won it before. He was on good form yesterday, and he told me that he wants to be the first artist to win it for the 2nd time. Nobody's done that before. Dizzy's up for the challenge.
Dizzy's up for the challenge. Now, Paul Weller, who's been around for a long time, this is his first nomination in 16 years. That would mean a lot to him, would it?
Yeah, he was there as well, actually, yesterday, and it's amazing. He walks in the room, there he is there, and everybody still gets excited by Paul Weller turning up. So he's put out 10 solo studio albums, obviously over 30 years of hit records, and he told me yesterday that actually he still has, you know, he still wants to win awards. He still wants to be taken seriously. He wants people to hear his music, and it's a really solid album. I've brought you a copy today, actually.
Yes, yeah.
I've got Paul's album. In fact, I brought you a selection of all the albums, because I know you all want to listen.
Well, give me the Paul Weller.
We'll
get the Paul Weller signed, because he he lives beside Sky Charlotte.
Oh, Charlotte.
She bumps into him in the pub all the time.
do you know who he is?
Yes, I do know who he is, yeah.
So
I tell you, if people get excited when he walks in the room, think of how excited he is when Charlotte walks into the
Well,
He
pub.
told me that
So he
yesterday,
should be.
actually.
Yeah.
He should learn to get his fringe cut properly.
Well, it's
said
of
it,
a
you said
time,
it.
it's of a period, isn't it?
The mod
Isn't
farmer.
it? Are you a Dizzy fan, Jackie?
He's bonkers, apparently. No, I like Dizzy Rascal.
And he's everywhere at the moment.
I've got kids, and kids really like Dizzy Rascal.
He's a big artist for us at Capital. He's had an amazing 2010, but it'd be great to see Dizzy win with this album, Tongue in Cheek, but also a band that our sister station XFM have really championed the last year called the XX. I am tipping them to win this prize this year. There's a real buzz about this band, a 3-piece band making, it's very hard to describe, but amazing soundscapes, amazing vocals. Eamon, you'd love it in the car.
Soundscape.
Yeah,
Charlotte's nodding away at that term. Soundscape. Soundscape.
Well, I was just trying to think of, the songs actually, but here they can see them in action now, so for anyone who doesn't know who they are.
Now, look, talking about seeing in action again, Take That. In the papers today, Take That reunited and Robbie back with them and whatever. What have you got to tell us about them?
Great photos in the press today. Robbie and the boys on the river rowing. It looks like it could be an Oxford-Cambridge event, but obviously this is probably perhaps they've got shots of the first video that's coming from Take That. So Robbie, Gary and the boys in the shorts rowing together,
I'm so
back
pleased.
with Rob.
This is great news.
Why?
Good headline.
Because they're recreating their old magic.
They were
It's
fine
gonna be
before without him.
Brilliant. It'll be great fun.
You've seen them.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
amazing in concert. Yeah, well, I saw them when they went down to the Four, so I'll be interested to see them when they get Robbie back
But they
again.
were
just to
great at
see
the Four. Their
how
gigs
it
were
changes
brilliant.
it. But it could be even better now.
This is going to fuel the fire, obviously. People want to know what the single's going to sound like. The first thing we get is the Robbie Williams single, which is the duet with Gary Barlow. That sets up Robbie's greatest hits. Then you take that album. And I can't wait to hear the record. I can't wait to see the show. I think the big test is Robbie back on stage. There's all these rumours he suffered stage fright. Can he still deliver a live show? I'm sure he can once he's back with the boys.
But you see, I think there's going to be a lot of people like Jackie. It's very interesting to hear your reaction there, Jackie. You look at Robbie, and a lot of people, for all his money, he has not had the critical acclaim or success. And you're looking at those pictures, and you're thinking what?
Well, I just look at it and think he walked out on them, he wanted to go off, he wanted to be the big star, and he did become the big star, and they were left in the wilderness. Then they got back together and kind of recreated something new, and now because it's all successful, it looks like he just wants to be part of that. So I just think it's slightly unfair. You know, they were fine, they've made their money, they've made their new niche without him, he's made his niche.
And,
why do they need to go back together?
and perhaps-
It's all about money, though, isn't it? I mean,
Do you feel it'll all end in tears again?
No, I think it'll really work, actually, because I think I've sort of come round to Robbie recently because he seems to have this humility he didn't have before because of the stage fright, and he just seems to be more human. So I don't mind it so much as I did maybe last year.
Apparently they're closer than close. They're all good friends. The moment they go back on stage, that's the moment I think everybody forgets the last 15 years. Take that back as a five-piece. The rumour is it's going to be one album, one show. I'm thinking it's at least 2 or 3 years of Robbie as part of the band. I think we've got a lot more of Robbie in the band.
Let's talk about some of these other groups that are nominated up for Mercury. Now, Sky at Night, I Am Clute. Which one is the title and which one is the band?
The band at I Am Clute.
I Am Clute,
Brilliant
right.
Manchester band. They've been going for over 10 years now. And they have got, you would like that album actually, Eamon, co-produced by Guy Garvey of band Elbow. They won the Mercury Prize 2 years ago. It really helped their career. So this is a band that needs some recognition, deserves some recognition actually. It's a solid little album. They've been in the business a while. Somebody else I think you like is Hampshire singer-songwriter Laura Marlin. A lot of these nominees cross over into new folk. It's all about new folk and acoustic sounds in 2010.
Okay.
Another band I think
What's
you'd like.
Mercury's about?
Mumford & Sons.
The band I'm into at the moment is Scouting for Girls, I have to say, and they have a new single out, Famous, as well, which is very good.
You met them yesterday, yeah?
We had them yesterday on This Morning, and it's all about people who want to be on TV. It's very, very appropriate.
And they were at Skyfest
Yeah,
on
I
Friday.
saw them on Friday night.
Were they?
Playing
Yes.
live.
Good, aren't they?
They were very
can
good.
really control an
Yeah.
audience there.
Solid band, great new single as well, yeah.
Kevin, good luck to you. Thanks, mate. Thanks for previewing that for us. Jacqueline, what's happening sports-wise?
Well, I wanted to ask Kevin if he had a book out, or if there was a book out by a famous pop star that you loved and they put their own blood in it.
Yeah, Ozzy
Would
Osbourne.
you want to buy it? Did you do that?
No, we didn't. I just made that up.
Oh.
But
I believed you, though. As well.
yes, he bit a bat's head off.
But listen, thank you for the tweets on the bloody book story from Sachin Tumdock. He's got his book out, he's put his own blood in it. It's going to cost about £47,000 or something. Gillian Newham has tweeted in saying, ew, just wondering what other bodily fluids will end up in future books. Well, there's a lot of possibilities there, isn't there?
Hiya, Michelle Thornton, who's just emailed us in about Take That. She says, Take That have never needed Robbie back, but Mark Owen has always tried to keep in touch with Robbie. It was his plan that one day he'd be able to get him back with the guys to recreate the glory days. And a lot of you reacting to Kenny McCaskill, the Scottish Justice Secretary, Brian Baker being one of them. Brian says, as a Scotsman, I totally reject that he released this convicted bomber under the values of the Scottish people, when in fact most Scots are against this release. He preaches that it was his decision alone, which is not very democratic in reality. What have you got, Charlotte?
Well, something else that came up earlier was about train ticket machines, and the passenger watchdog says apparently they're baffling to use, and it seems quite a few of you agree. Gail in Kent says, I use the ticket machine, but if I think it's trying to rip me off, then I go to the counter. Clifford Cook says, I've no problems working them out, although I have seen bankers confused by them. And he says, and if they can't work as simple a thing as a ticket machine, no wonder they messed up the banks. Simon Willins says, I'd rather be served by a person any time, and it helps to save jobs. Steve Kent says, I'd rather a 30-minute queue than use a machine, and I'm only 41. What a Luddite I am, he says. And Reggie Brockwell says, by the time you've worked them out, you've missed your train.
That is
Indeed.
true,
They
actually.
can be complicated. You were
And
saying
when you
that.
try and go, if you go from a train station to a tube station, you can't. You have to know the zone that the tube is in that you're going to. So if you're going from my station in Kingston to Piccadilly Circus, you can't have that option unless you know what zone Piccadilly Circus is in.
But if you know where you're going, I think, you know, straight in and on the
Not
train.
everyone does, do they?
Again, not everybody does. Linda O'Shea, I completely agree with Jackie as regards Take That becoming a 5-piece band again. That's your sunrise for another morning. Back in the morning from 6 a.m. Live desk next with Samantha Simmons, including David Cameron in Washington, and what he talked to the senators about last night. That's with the live desk. We leave you here. See you in the morning. Have a good day. Bye-bye.